When installing a new door opener, you need to inspect the door before you begin. Check that there is enough headroom. A minimum of 2.3 inches is required. Worn rollers and frayed cables must be replaced. The door must be balanced. An unbalanced door is a dangerous safety hazard. Test the balance by lifting the door about halfway. Release it. The door should stay in place entirely supported by its springs. Raise and lower the door to see if there is any binding or sticking. Rollers must be lubricated before beginning installation. Be sure that a grounded 3-wire electrical outlet is within 45 inches of the operator head. Check that the door closes fully on the floor. A gap may cause failure of the 1-inch reversing test. To avoid serious personal injury, you must remove all ropes connected to the garage door before installing the opener. Disengage the existing garage door lock to avoid damage to the garage door. Review your copy of the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener Owner's Manual carefully. Installation procedures will vary depending on the type of door and the type of opener. We will show these differences where appropriate. Otherwise, a sectional door and chain drive opener will be used. Many master installers find that pre-assembly of the rail and drive in the shop will speed installation at the job site. All chain drives require attachment of the T-rail, the chain to the sprocket, and installation of the sprocket cover. Begin by placing the opener on packing materials to protect the cover. Next, remove the two 5/16 18 by 1/2 inch washered screws mounted in the top of the opener. Align the T-rail and styrofoam over the opener sprocket. Cut the tape from the T-rail, chain, and styrofoam. Remove the styrofoam. Position the chain over the operator sprocket. If more chain slack is required, loosen the outer nut on the trolley. Insert the washered screws, using only the ones removed previously. No other screws may be used, as they may damage the operator unit. Tighten both screws securely through the T-rail into the opener. Insert the back tab of the sprocket cover into the operator slot. Squeeze the cover slightly and insert the front tab in the slot on the mounting plate. Now, adjust the chain tension. Loosen and spin the inner nut and lock washer down the threaded shaft away from the trolley. Adjust the chain tension with a pair of pliers until the chain is approximately 1/2 inch above the base of the T-rail at its midpoint. Turn the outer nut to position the chain. Now, retighten the inner nut to secure the adjustment. Sprocket noise can result if the chain is either too loose or too tight. For screw drive units, begin by fastening the rail to the power unit. Working on a level surface, align the rail assembly with the power unit and slip the coupling over the rail sprocket. Slide the rail through the power unit bracket until the coupling fits securely over the power unit sprocket. Align the two screw holes in the rail with the holes in the power unit. Insert two 1/4 inch 20 by 5/8 inch hex screw and lock nuts and tighten securely with a socket wrench. Next, slide the trolley onto the rail. The trolley release arm must be in the horizontal locked position with its arrow pointed away from the power unit. Slide the trolley along the bottom on the rail until it snaps into place. Now, align the rail brackets with the end of the rail assembly. Insert two 1/4 inch 20 by 5/8 inch hex screws and lock nuts and tighten securely with a socket wrench. Belt drive units also require pre-assembly. To attach the T-rail to the opener, remove the two washer screws mounted in the top of the opener. Align the T-rail and styrofoam over the opener sprocket. Cut the tape from the T-rail, belt, and styrofoam, and remove the styrofoam. Position the belt over the opener sprocket. Insert both washered screws through the T-rail and into the opener. Use only the screws provided, otherwise serious damage will occur. Next, set the belt tension. Thread the spring trolley nut on the threaded shaft by hand until it's finger tight. Do not over-tighten. To provide the tension required for best operation, insert the tip of a small screwdriver into one of the insert slots of the nut ring, and holding the square end firmly with an open-end wrench, rotate the assembly until the nut ring is released against the trolley. The last step in the assembly process is to attach the belt cap retainer by positioning it over the operator sprocket so the two holes align with the holes in the mounting plate. Attach with the number 8 by 3/8 inch hex screws provided. Now the operator is ready for installation. In all installations, begin by surveying the garage area. Look at the wall and ceiling above the garage door. With the door closed, mark the vertical center line of the door and extend that line onto the header wall above the door. Next, open the door to the highest point of travel. Draw an intersecting horizontal line on the header wall 2.3 inches above the high point. This center point is where you will install the header bracket. If you need to install the header bracket on a 2x4 on a wall or ceiling, use lag screws. Lag screws are not part of the standard installation kit. Center the header bracket on the vertical guide line with the bottom edge of the bracket on the horizontal line 2.3 inches above the highest point of travel. The arrow should point up. Fasten the header bracket and its associated support securely using the 5/16 by 1 7/8 screws provided. All of the push-pull force of the operator is on this bracket. If it isn't fastened correctly, it will pull off the header wall. If there's a torsion spring or center bearing plate in the way of the header bracket or door bracket area, the opener can be installed within 2 feet to the left or right of the door center. If your door has extension springs, the opener must be installed in the center of the door. The header bracket may be fastened to the ceiling in these instances, or if headroom is limited. Separate holes are provided on the bracket for ceiling mounting. If the garage ceiling is finished, it may require additional fastening hardware not included with the opener. To attach the T-rail to the header bracket, position the opener on the garage floor below the header bracket. Position the chain pulley bracket for chain drives, idler sprocket bracket for belt drives, or rail bracket for screw drives against the header bracket. Align the bracket holes and join with a clevis pin. Insert a ring fastener to secure. Next, position the opener. For sectional and one-piece doors with track, raise the opener onto a stepladder. Raise the door all the way and place a 2x4 laid flat on the top section beneath the T-rail. If the door hits the trolley when you raise it, pull down on the trolley release arm to disconnect inner and outer sections. The trolley can remain disconnected until later in the installation. For one-piece door without track installation, open the door fully with the door parallel to the floor. Measure the distance from the floor to the top of the door. Using a stepladder, raise the opener to the same distance as the door from the floor. The top of the door should be level with the top of the opener. Do not position the opener more than 2 inches above this point.